Get out them fancy clothes, light some candles, and pour the absinthe. We're sampling secret societies with Illimat from Together Studios. This cunning card counter pits 2 to 4 players against one another in a race to 17 victory points tracked on each player's side of the game mat. Setup begins with a hearty shuffle and 3 cards dealt into each of the 4 fields of play. The dealer is chosen randomly, and players are then dealt a 4-card hand. Except for the player to the dealer's left, they only get 3. That's the price you pay for going first. The remaining cards become the draw pile. Next, 4 luminary cards are randomly dealt face down and placed in the corner of each field. The bottom of the game box, known as the Illimat, is placed center, and 4 Ocus tokens are placed on top. Align this box so that the arrow is pointing to the dealer. Illimat is played over a series of rounds, usually 2 to 3 per game. Points are tallied at the end of each round after players have harvested cards from the mat. Here's the scoring system. 4 points to the player who harvests the most cards. This is called the bumper crop. 2 points for harvesting the most summer cards. -2 points to whomever harvested the most winter cards. And each Fool card, Luminary, and Ocus token are each worth 1 point. Gameplay starts to the left of the dealer, and each turn a player must play 1 card from their hand and perform one of the following actions. Harvest. By playing 1 card from their hand, a player can collect 1 or more cards with a matching value from a field. In addition to taking single cards, a player can also collect combinations of cards from a single field that add together to equal the value of the card from their hand. They then add the cards to their personal harvest pile for points at the end of a round. So, a player may discard a card from their hand into a field. And stockpile. By placing a card from their hand onto an existing card on the field, a player can create a single stack for future harvesting. This stack acts as 1 card and cannot be separated. Stacks can either be multiple instances of 1 value or individual cards combined together to create a higher value. If a stack has multiple instances of 1 value, it's considered locked on that value and cannot be added to with single cards. In order to do any stockpiling, a player must also have a card in their hand that matches the value of the stack. Within these 3 actions, some other effects may occur. For instance, if a face card was played on a turn, rotate the Illimat so the season of the field matches the season of the played card. Any face cards from the Stars suit mean a player can choose where to rotate the Illimat. Seasons also have different effects on the field they face. Winter means no harvesting over there, autumn, no sowing, and spring denies stockpiling. But of course in summer, anything is possible. When harvesting, if a player clears a field by removing the last card, a number of effects can occur. First, if any Ocus tokens remain on the Illimat, the player gains 1. If the Luminary card in the field is face down, flip it and resolve its effects. Effects are listed in the rulebook. I'm not going to go over all of them here, but they include things like forcing the seasons to change and allowing players to use 2 cards in a harvest instead of 1. If the Luminary card is already face up, the player adds it to their harvest and resolves any of its reward effects. The field is then reseeded with 3 cards from the draw pile, unless the draw pile has less than 3 cards or the Luminary is already face up. Ooh, a Fool of Summer. A Fool card can be either a 1 or a 14, depending on what you want it to be. If you harvest a Fool card, you get an additional 1 point at the end of the round. At the end of their turn, players draw back up to 4 cards in their hand and play passes to the left. This continues until all the cards from the deck and the player's hands are gone, then points are totaled for the round. Once a player reaches 17 or more points, they win. And that's Illimat. I should mention that this game was commissioned by the band The Decemberists, and that's why I'm having Chris Funk and the game's creator Keith Baker to play Illimat on a special Game to Game on December 6th. You can watch this live on twitch.tv/geek and sundry or projectalpha.com. Come check it out and keep playing games.